Let's talk about Nigeria now. You know, Nigeria basically don't actually. I know we have cybersecurity firms and the rest of that, but we don't actually focus more on cybersecurity like other countries. Like they're talking about the best cybersecurity guys now. We're in China, Israel. You understand? And Nigeria is very easy to attack. You can actually perform social engineering attack on usually everybody in this room now. You succeed because we give our information out so easily. So what we talk about Nigeria and
Uh,
how we can like start securing ourselves.
one thing funny enough about Nigeria, I think the reason why we don't really care about security is because government doesn't really store things online.
That is true.
That's the truth. Like even getting admission in school, you still have to be bringing documents, writing down
Yeah,
things with your hand and all that. Meanwhile, you can be here and apply for a school abroad that you have registered, shown all your documents,
give
paid
your
fees. You just need to go there and
accommodation.
start.
Just start.
Just go
Yeah,
there and start. But over here, it's not possible. Even in private unis,
you still have to
there are so
come.
many private unis, you will still go back and you're writing so many documents, submitting things in hard copy. So, in essence, in that case, what really is what they care about, like their data being online and all that? Because when it's, will I say, we're actually a young generation with very old leaders.
Yeah,
So
Nigeria is
the
very young,
yeah,
sure.
so the very old leaders do not really have an interest in. How many of them even understand how to use some of all these devices? I saw a picture of a former. I will not say I will just say a former president of Nigeria actually looking at a laptop, and I was like, what is it? What is it? What does it represent? Like it was just like a picture for show. And I'm like, what does he think he's doing? Obviously, he's not doing anything there. You tell him to even make a quick search on Google and he will just wait there for hours. And that's your point. So, what do they really think is online? But one of the industry that really, will I say, has take cybersecurity
Serious.
serious is the banking sector, fintech, basically. But a
They
lot of
don't.
them don't.
They don't.
A lot of them don't. And those who have websites always feel like if you hack via this way, they'll just move their website to
To another
another
server,
server, host in another
hosting.
place. Like what?
I've made a kind of
What's that?
people.
And they'll say it proudly
It's authority.
with that we can just move.
You just move. What is it?
Until when you
You have
reach the one that you don't
ransomware.
have to
You
move
got locked.
or you can't
Nothing.
move, that's when you understand. And the whole point now at the end of the day is the banks in essence, it's not just about straight up hacking. Even insider threats that can be avoided by maybe setting up something that has to do with least privilege access. My friend was talking about how she was in a bank, she works in a bank, and a very popular bank actually. And she was talking about how they had an insider threat. Not just her bank, it's a very prevalent thing, but I'm just talking about her bank. They had an insider threat issue where someone was busy changing people's ATM passwords as soon as like you apply for your
ATM.
ATM, you get your card, she changes the password basically immediately as you're stepping out of your bank. She's changing your password. So now, if you have something for least access, you would understand that okay, if someone is changing his password like this, they need to have access to
To
able
that
change that. And let's
particular.
say okay, she has that access based on customer care. You shouldn't have the access more than a certain amount of time in a day. You get because how will I change my password? Of course,
Immediately.
when you do your ATM, it becomes the default password. That's one. Then you change your password. That's two.
They immediately
Why do I
change
have to
it
change
back.
it immediately again to another password? It's supposed to be generally impossible for such an occurrence to happen.
It's supposed to be generally impossible.
Yes, that it's
It's,
supposed
it's
to.
supposed to be generally impossible unless the person has maybe made a mistake and all that. And of course, that person is there
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
that they
and
made
also
that
have
mistake.
proof that
Yeah,
okay, I'm the
yeah.
person.
But then when someone just leaves, you now change the password, starts either using it for nefarious means or selling their data and information out. It started like that, and I think she said she took over almost 20 million actually from a lot of people, and it took a while before they noticed it. And if measures were put in place, you could have noticed that way earlier. But they didn't, and because they don't really take security seriously. So many banks don't have a cybersecurity unit.
Yeah,
They just set it up for compliance with CBN because CBN says you need to have this particular security in place. What they just do is just call up a private security firm to come and just set up something for them, and they just leave it dormant. They might now have just one CISO that just goes to check some things once in a while. but there's nobody actively monitoring what's going on.
I feel every organization should have blue team, red team on standby,
Actually, something like that.
always ready, because like many fintech, those
At least a red
millions,
team. I mean, sorry, a blue team. Even if you don't necessarily have a red
red
team,
team.
at least a blue team who are like very active in terms of research, seeing what is actually happening. Let's say currently, and also trying. Blue team has actually most of the time end up more on what they call this the dark web.
Yeah.
There are more blue teamers on the dark web than red teamers, because a red teamer just probably needs to just find out information on how to do a hack. But a blue teamer is actually going out every day, trying to search, is there something that, okay, let's say I know my company uses a MacBook. I go to the dark web every day, try to see if there is a new hack or vulnerability around the MacBook. When I see other vulnerabilities around like Macs, around the Windows system, it doesn't concern me because nobody in my company does that based on my scope and what can affect us. So it's also another aspect. Like blue teamers are usually those ones on that aspect. I'm not saying red teamers don't go there, but mostly blue teamers who are really like
that's been the work of the blue team.
Yeah, when they're very active, they're always doing a lot of research to see, okay, what's going on, how can I protect this, how can I mitigate this, how can I stop this entirely, how can I avoid this as well. So yeah.
Okay, so what do you have to say to like actually like educate the people, like to actually, because I feel cybersecurity starts from you, not actually from, because most people in companies they're actually the one that are careless to make the hackers to actually know one or two. You understand? For example, now I saw a video, or I think I saw the video somewhere where they sent a URL, and you know how phishing URL usually look convincing. Like sometimes they'll use, instead of using O, they'll use zero. I feel most people have to like calm down before clicking on links. So what do you have to say about people like securing themselves online?
One trick I usually use is, especially when it's a popular website, say LinkedIn, Facebook, all these things. Once I get a mail from them and I want to confirm it, I don't click on the link that was sent in that mail. In as much as I've checked everything, I don't click on it. I type it afresh. I go to a new window and I type out that gmail.com or facebook.com or whatever. I type it out by myself to confirm that, okay, this is actually there. Because it could just be something random. Some of them, okay, maybe we say you need to change your password. But it could be something like, hey, Emmanuel, so person liked your Facebook post. Then they will not even tell you to click on this link. And just click it. And so you just click that link.
It's not showing you login page. Not login.
And then, and you know, you don't necessarily have to click that you are actually continuing that login or something. Once you are typing, you would actually have key loggers. Some organizations have key loggers are just storing every information you're typing. So you haven't, by the time you realize, I just typed this thing here, it's already happened. I think I created something on Friday where, on Thursday, just as a joke, because I was talking to my audience on WhatsApp and I was saying it's very easy to actually social engineer all of you. Very, very simple. All I need to do is just send you one link. One link. Okay, let me give you a story. Someone told me about how they were able to take over someone's entire social media account. Now, social media accounts are mostly linked to our Gmail. In fact, most of us linked to our Gmail.
So now,
what they did was they were looking for the person's phone number. They were looking for the person's full name because the person was actually causing havoc with a particular Twitter account. So what they did was they were trying to find out the phone number first of all to see the person's name because it was a fake listing. And then they found out that the person had put their number under a post requesting for giveaway. So they took that number from there. Now, think about it. This person might have OPay, might have PalmPay. They went to OPay, pasted the account, and then the name came out. And they're like, okay, that's the name. Now, this is the part of red team that is very sweet. That's part of hacking that is very sweet. So now you've gotten that name. Now you take that name and you run it via, if you're a hacker, you know, you have very multiple ways you can use someone's name to find their email. It's very easy. There are all these resources that are normal Google service, not even that you have to use one specific tool. So you use the name, you find the Gmail account linked to that thing. Now you have the Gmail. Click on forgot password. Click on the fact that you have lost your phone number used for that. Now to send you, to now ask you maybe This person didn't have like serious 2FA on it. So the security question was, what is the name of your pet? Name of your first pet. Use another person's account, just random person, and made a post around a dog, seeing that this person likes dogs. And they searched, also the person has commented on anything that has to do with a dog. And they saw the person actually commented on something about a dog. It's very easy to do a search on Twitter. There are tools. If you use Multigo can help you do that.
Yeah.
But normally, if you just do a search on Twitter via the person's address bar, you can search what they have spoken about on that topic. So if you find dog, the person has spoken about a dog. Now the question says your pet name, but like most people have dogs, especially Nigerians. So they went there, saw the person has spoken about the dog. They're like, okay, have you ever owned a dog? Yes. Oh, what was the name?
Yeah, exactly.
Random chat on this thing. And the person's like, oh, the name was so thing. Okay, they took that name and they went to type it. It didn't work. Capital letter, small letter, it didn't work. Okay, what is this? I was like, okay, we asked for a dog. Let's find something else. Okay, do you have another pet? Like, no, I don't have another pet, but I used to have a pet before. And they're like, okay, what pet did you have before? Was it a cat? Like, no, I had another dog. They were like, okay, what was that dog's name? Because I'm thinking of names to name my own dog. The person actually fell for it. Like, they say, I want to name my own dog. They now said, okay, give me, the person now gave the name, sorry. They took the name, typed in there.
It works.
Your Gmail has been
yeah.
collected.
Yeah,
once your Gmail is in, we have your Twitter, we have everything. And so that was just it. And that's one thing about her. So most Nigerians, apart from even giving information online, because there's some information you always have online. Say me in particular, now I'm in positions whereby I have to give her my email, my name, my phone number, all this kind of thing. So that's not private information, like actually numbers, email, and all that. So what can be private to me now is me. Okay, birthday as well cannot even be private to me, like me, like being a public. I share the same birthday with Confidence Steffi, who is also like very popular in cybersecurity space. So I think I found out on that day, on my birthday, that she's actually born on the same day. So that one is out there. Confidence Steffi's birthday is my birthday. You get. So now, would have gone for an interview where she probably had to like mention her age and all that, date of birth. Or first, if I mention my age, you can track back to get my date of birth. But at the end of the day, those are not. If you know that you are giving out those kind of information, then don't use it. That is the thing. Like, I can't expect that everybody knows my birthday is May 31st, and I think of an ATM password or a phone password that goes around. Maybe now make it 0531 or 3105. I don't understand. What's the meaning of that? That's very, very guessable. It's very, very easy. So some people actually make that mistake actually, and it's something that I can very much avoid. Let me give you an example. Even my mom, I don't let her set her password. I do that for her, especially since I got into security. So on all her accounts, I'm like, will I say the backup account to her. So once I notice a sign in anywhere, I make a call. Did you sign in? And she's like, oh yes, I did. This also thing. I got the new phone. Okay, because I want to be very sure. Because if I notice it's not her, I'm already going around how to protect that. Because a lot of Nigerians are very careless with their data. They don't even believe that their data is worth anything. That's why when we tell them these loan apps are harvesting your data, they're like, waiting I get, which information I get. And it's very funny because somebody is literally having a map of who you are and everything. I can commit a crime and just frame you for it by having an actual information on the kind of calls you make, the time you make those calls, who you called, your message. I have access to your messages. I can send your contacts anything I want, have your contacts to send them that you need so and so thing. You owe a loan app for one day and they start posting that you
owing.
Someone when they posted something, they say the person is, they should be out the person, that the person has is HIV positive. But I'm like, what's the meaning of this? And these are things that you give out willingly. You gave out your contact list, you gave out your rights, you sold everything to them.
But I feel most app now they actually scrape user data because now data is like gold now in this age. Most app in the background are collecting our data.
Yeah, it's one thing when you talk about scraping data now, almost most of a lot of them collect. As far as the free app, you're using Gmail, provided with all these things you're using, and you think you're not paying something, you're paying something for it. But now, what is the data use policy behind that? Yes, you collect my data, but what can you do with it? Facebook data use policy states that they should delete your information when you ask them to delete it, and they shouldn't leave one single information. So even if I use that account to commit fraud, you shouldn't be able to trace it back because I said delete it. It's not the type that you delete it for me, but you have the information somewhere. So you need to also understand the data use policy. Most of like legit companies and brands always have that in mind because they can always be sued. Like you said this in your legal agreement. So what are you doing?
That's the problem. Now Nigerians don't read all those things.
That's another
That's
thing.
what the problem is. Don't read.
Who reads terms and conditions?
Nobody.
I don't even read terms and conditions. That one, like when you're opening Gmail, your Gmail reserves the right. I accept.
That's the problem. Like there was this company that usually trades for people, and in their terms and conditions, they say that they have the right not to pay you.
Oh yeah, in banks actually. In banks.
Yeah.
In banks, there is actually a stipulation that says if you fall for, I mean, there's one particular bank. I don't even want to mention it because security, but there's a particular bank in Nigeria that it's in their contract. If you lose money via, let's say something, let's say a transaction that seems like you initiated it, that someone has your details, they are not liable to return that money.
Yeah.
Like someone used your card or something, they don't have to return
Most
that money.
companies have that in their terms and
They don't have to
conditions.
return that money. But most Nigerians don't use that. They now go to the bank and say somebody stole my money from
It's not their business.
They don't really care. It's mostly when you want to cause problem for them that they will just attend to you because they are trying to avoid the legal fees involved and everything. And most of the time, especially if they have a good relationship with that bank, there's a bank in Nigeria who have a very bad relationship when it comes to returning money. Being in, of course, in space of security and handling those information, you understand that. Like there's a particular bank, again, I can't mention it.
Yeah.
But there's a particular bank that actually, will I say, there's many banks they call fraud banks in Nigeria that all these people that do fraud usually work with. But there's a particular bank that their own is once you notice that something happened there, oh, okay, please return this money. They're like, they just tell you, our customers do not participate in fraud. So that's not our business. They will not take that money. They will not give you back the money. They won't reverse it or anything. So some banks actually help in that bad way. Like what it help? They help promote the nonsense.
For me, it's help because most details that these fraud guys get, you're not supposed to get it outside of the bank.
Yeah.
Like they can call you and maybe send a message or tell you that you just registered for an account now, or a BVN was sent to you. And most times you just sent your BVN. How did they know that you just sent your BVN and stuff like that?
Insider check.
Yeah, stuff like that. So most of them are inside of that place and they want to steal the money. You understand?
Yeah.
So most banks are like that. Many Nigerian banks, they are stealing from the inside out. That's what I've noticed in all this hack because most times it's unnecessary. Like they'll say 30 million or 30 billion or 3 billion was just cleared from the bank.
Yeah.
How possible? Like,
well, they have insurance with CBN, so
that's the issue, yeah, stuff like that.
That's the thing at the end of the day.
So I would also like for you to clear another misconception with in terms of operating system. I've taught many people, you understand, and most people be like, I want to be a hacker, so I will download Kali Linux. I want to be a hacker, so I will download Black Hack. I want to be a hacker, I will download stuff, this operating system. Now, and so some of them will be like, okay, this operating system is unhackable. I'm using Linux now, nobody can touch me. Or I'm using Mac, nobody can touch me. Or I'm using Windows. I don't want to use Windows because I use Windows. They just attacked me one time and stuff like that. So let's talk about the operating system aspect now.
On that, for me, I also asked that question when I want to start security, and they told me it is basically not unimportant.
Yeah.
As far as what you are using permits virtualization, and you can run VMs, doesn't really matter because now the good thing about Linux is most of attacks usually occur on Windows.
That's the problem.
So and they're always executables .exe, .exe. Now you can't run your .exe in my Linux. It's not possible. So that way I have my, I still have my.
Because Linux have that sudo stuff.
Yes, I still have
all
those
permission.
Yeah, so you can't just do upload your malware on my Linux. It can't work. So, but the thing now is that where you are limited is that most industries, most companies work with Windows. How many people can run Linux? How many people want to communicate with codes?
Nobody.
So, like the interface on the UI UX of Microsoft Word, MacBooks, they're just so sweet compared to Linux. Ubuntu, Kali, although Parrot has a nice OS. Parrot OS is quite nice, but it's still Linux. Sorry, it's still Linux based kernel and all that. Yeah. So in that aspect, for me, I prefer using your normal Windows. I just use a Windows. I'm not saying like a Windows because you can have your Windows on your Mac. You can actually run it on your Mac. But using a normal like a Windows OS or your base OS and running every other thing in the VM, your Kali, because that way it also makes your hacks that are running with your Kali, will I say, in that VM.
Sandbox.
Yes, it's in that VM. It's not necessarily on your will I say, on your local machine, on your hardware. Yes, it shares hardware, but it's not necessarily on the hardware. And of course, if you know how to go about switching networks and using proper VPNs, it will be much harder to trace it to your actual will I say, machine than using it in a virtualization environment. Now, if you're doing something like malware analysis, of course, you have to detonate that malware in a Windows environment. You can always just use a Windows VM, like have an extra Windows VM there, detonate your malware there, test whatever test. As far as you, of course, if you're using like VirtualBox VMware, you can stop it from replicating on your own system. So if you detonate a malware here, it doesn't leak into your own system. So that's it. It's basically for me it's not really a big deal. Some people use Kali because they want to get used to
Linux
and the codes, writing with the scripts and all that. But generally, for me, I prefer just using a Windows.
But one thing they don't also understand is that most servers are based on Linux.
Yeah.
Most servers are based on Linux. So even though you don't want to like use Windows because you don't want to get like attacked and the rest, most servers, most company servers, those people that have server farms, they must use Linux for server.
Yeah.
But most people use Windows for server, but it's very rare. Linux is best for all the system admin stuff. So I feel operating system is not actually important, but the thing is that Linux gives you this kind of advantage of easily getting hacked. For example, now you open the Metasploit now.
Yeah.
Most vulnerabilities there are based on Windows. Most payload Windows and stuff like that. I think that's the reason why most people just go back from Windows. And
yeah, that was it. Even if you want to do that, you can always have your like VM Windows on your operating system if you still want to do that. But for me, it's not really a problem. It's not something that somebody should be bothered about.
Yeah. Just like clearing the misconception because most people, once they want to start,
they
just installing this, and in their mind they are safe, and they don't even like have this consciousness that they still have to be careful how I do one or two things and stuff like that. So, what are your handles that people can actually reach you on?
Specifically, I prefer going with Twitter because I can really see a lot of things there. At Hacktosin on Twitter. At Hacktosin. Yes. Funny enough, the time I put my name as Hacktosin, I was hacked. My Twitter was. First time I actually made my Twitter account Hacktosin, I was hacked. Very funny, and I had to fight with the attacker. Like the person was trying on end, I'm trying on my end until I got it back. Until I got it back, and I was like, "Wow, okay, welcome to hacking." But funny part, I was actually in cybersecurity then. No? That when I got to learn that 2FA can actually be bypassed.
Normally.
David Bombal, you should know him, the YouTuber. He does a lot of YouTube cybersecurity content. He was hacked. 2FA was, although not necessarily through his own system, his admin or something like that. But anyway, of course, apart from my social media, something apart from my phone. Apart from my social media, other information can actually be found out at the Borderless 2.0 event, which is happening on November 4th, I think. That's right, November 4th. In Port Harcourt. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, at the event, we'll talk more about cybersecurity. You also learn many things to secure yourself because is there a way we can actually like perform one or two attacks? Those show them like a little workshop. Just to like show them like okay, this how they can get just something simple. Something simple.
Do something simple like let's say getting into a Wi-Fi network.
Yeah, let us do that one.
And then while you're in that network, change your MAC address. Just ARP spoofing, basically.
Yeah, just something
change
simple.
your MAC address to represent the router MAC address, and ensure that whatever information is being passed through to that information will get to me before it gets to the router. So
that makes the money the middle attack.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
so during Borderless, come and see something cool.